Welcome to this video. It is a one-of-a-kind video because I have not done a single thing about musicals at all on my channel, and that is not because I don't enjoy a good musical or a musical movie. That's actually the polar opposite. I enjoy them so much. I love the theatrics that come with musicals. I mean, I love storytelling with song. I love it in non-musical music, and I think I love it so much because of the fact that I do enjoy musicals. So, we're going to talk about Hamilton. In the States, Hamilton has been very, very popular ever since it has premiered in 2015. And I'm just going to throw this out there for absolutely good reason it is popular because it is a musical that I have plenty of people in my life that aren't particularly into musicals, and they all make an exception for Hamilton. Lin-Manuel Miranda just really did such a fantastic job of creating this super intriguing, creative way of telling this story. And I think that's why it has such a mass following. If you're someone who doesn't want to hop on a bandwagon of loving something, I'm sorry, like give this a chance because it deserves all of the widespread love that it gets. And because of all of that, I really wanted to try ranking my top 10 favorite songs from this musical, which is incredibly difficult because I believe the actual track list is 46 songs. This is such a incredible show that I have listened to and have seen live. I did the best I could and created my top 10, and I can truly say that it's a toss up. And I'm going to include my top 5 honorable mentions at the end of the video. Number 10 is The Room Where It Happens, and I really enjoy this. It's another Aaron Burr song, and I think that this one is so great because it really is like the moment in the musical where you can tell that Aaron Burr's not messing around anymore. Like he is ready to take some action and really step up his game. He wants to get into politics. It's really a big turning point of what is to come of Alexander Hamilton in the end. But I love the power. Like there is such a difference in this Aaron Burr song versus his other solo song, which I will not talk about right now. Talk about that later. And this one just, it's like you can just feel the shift in the voice and just the overall vibe of the song of like Aaron Burr's character is like, no, things are changing. I'm not being passive anymore. I'm going to go get what I want. Number 9 is the closer of this musical, and what a wonderful, touching closer it is. Who lives, who dies, who tells your story? I think at least the first 10 times I heard this song, I cried every single time just because it is an incredibly touching way to end this musical. I mean, this musical is so powerful and so in your face at times that the fact that it ended on this beautiful number led by Eliza and how she lived out the rest of her life. And it just wraps up all of the themes that go on throughout the entire musical too and circles back to all of the key characters in such a beautiful way. And I tell you what, that moment I first heard the part of the song where they start talking about the orphanage, sobbing, completely sobbing. It's just a wonderful, beautiful way to close the show. And when I did finally see Hamilton live, even though I knew the whole musical by heart, I still cried when that song came on. Like, I still cried at the end of the show. It's just so beautiful. Number 8 is Take a Break, which I think is a beautiful duet by the characters Eliza and Angelica. And it also is a very good character moment for Hamilton, too. Like, really displaying that he was so obsessed with work and his priority was and forever was going to be building the USA and taking pride in that work because all about leaving his legacy. Like that is the theme of Alexander Hamilton that is portrayed in this musical is his desire to leave a legacy, even though that meant not being able to spend time with his wife or Angelica, which is the sister of his wife. Eliza and Angelica are singing together at times, trying to get through to Hamilton, but they're also singing over top of each other with their own thoughts, trying to get through to Hamilton. Hamilton interjecting with all the reasons why he can't do what they want him to do. I just think it's a very beautiful song in the musical that is showing the frustrations of all three of these characters kind of colliding into one number. Number 7 is a classic, My Shot. It is the first solo song of the character Alexander Hamilton, and it is so memorable. That one definitely has like strong hip hop influence in it, wonderful beat and tempo to it. The verses are just so addictive and catchy to listen to. It's probably one of the songs that I would play for someone who has never listened to anything from Hamilton before, to try and get them enticed, to try and show them like it's a little bit different than what you may perceive musicals to be. Like, check this song out. It's a very strong start for the musical. It's one of the first few numbers in the musical, and it really displays the overall theme of what Alexander Hamilton has for the rest of the show. Number 6 is the Schuyler Sisters. What a fun poppy track this one is. I think it is such a fun way to introduce the Schuyler sisters in the show. It shows all of the personalities of the sisters immediately and so accurately for how it's going to be the rest of the show. It's a lighter song that just makes you feel good, and it just puts a smile on my face every time I hear the Schuyler sisters, and the harmonies required to perform that song and the range required to perform that song from all three people playing those characters. It's beautiful. Like the 3-part harmonies, and especially how they end the song with the 3-part harmony, so gorgeous to listen to. And seriously, it's just one that puts a good pep in my step every time I hear it. Number 5 is One Last Time. It is the swan song of the character George Washington, and I have always loved this song. I love listening to it on Spotify with the original cast where Chris Jackson's performing it. It was also one of the highlights of the show when I saw it live with another person playing George Washington. It's just a very powerful, motivational number. Like, George Washington is one of the most classic historical figures that in the US we are taught about in school. So I felt like the overall vibe, like the tenderness, but also the big dramatic ending of that song, it fits what the historical persona of George Washington is and how he is taught so well. Typically, he is known as the commander, the first president, very much so this strong leader. And seeing him be vulnerable, seeing the character be vulnerable in this track by revealing to Hamilton, like, it's time for me to relax. It's time for me to rest. It's just a really gorgeous moment in the musical, and I love giving that spotlight to the character of George Washington, I think. Number 4 is Yorktown, another pivotal moment in the show. It is the moment that the colonies win and the British surrender. So I love this moment because it's like really drawn in at times where it's like the realization of, oh my gosh, we just won the war. Like, it shows I think the moment of stepping back and realizing like we really just broke away from the British. But what really does the song for me and why I listen to this song so much, it is the chorus ending. Oh gosh. It's so powerful. Like when it is all quiet and they're just singing, the world turned upside down. And then it just builds and you're adding more harmony to it. And then it just explodes, man. It is so good. It's classic musical moment. Just listening to it with headphones, I adore it. Seeing it in person, I had chills. It's like the wonderful way to portray the celebration and realization of, oh my gosh, we just changed history. We are our own nation now. Number three is kind of like the black sheep of solo songs in this musical, and that is Wait for It. Wait for It is a very loved song from this musical. It is a very powerful, powerful song from Aaron Burr. Hamilton doesn't have a song like Wait for It. Thomas Jefferson, none of the other characters have a song like that. It's really like, I think, a moment to try and see the character of Aaron Burr's thinking and his how he personally feels and why he is how he is, how he's willing to wait for these opportunities, because he also has had a lot of loss in life, but he is viewing that loss as, since I have my life, I am going to wait for these things that I want. I am going to try and play it safe. If I have my life, I need to be smart. And I think that it is such a beautiful song that also has a really nice build. It's just a very beautiful song that I think also can attract listeners if you are someone who is not used to watching musicals or listening to musical soundtracks. Like, it is a bit more of a digestible song in that it does have more of, like, I would say, pop melodies to it, but still very much so has the recognizable quickness and the amount of words that are being sung in the chorus. Like, that very much so aligns with the overall feel of Hamilton, though, too. It's a prime example of one of the reasons why I love Hamilton so much, is that really it's so much like equal distribution of love to all the characters and the quality of the songs that each character gets to have and gets to sing. It's wonderful. Number two is Non-Stop, which is the final song in the first act. And it really does a wonderful job of showing how the world started operating post the American Revolution. It really sets you up well for the next era and what is to come for the rest of the musical, but also just for what's to come for Alexander Hamilton as well. I love that it's kind of like Aaron Burr introducing it, saying how Hamilton is nonstop, but also we have all of the characters involved in that track too. And there's so many references to other songs within that song too. And that's what I love, is that the ending of Nonstop has so many lines put in from the first act. Eliza's repeating lines from other songs, as is Angelica, George Washington, Aaron Burr, everyone. Like, everyone is singing. It is a glorious overlapping and a glorious moment of layering that then all comes together when they sing out History Has Its Eyes on You. It's just like a really amazing song to keep a musical moving and to set you up for what is to come. And then finally, my number one song, and I had to put this one as number one because I was so astounded by it when I first heard it. Like, I don't know how someone comes up with a song like this, and that is Satisfied. Satisfied is a solo song by Angelica, and it shows the innermost thoughts of the character Angelica, and how Hamilton and her sister got together was because of her, and her whole thought process during the entire joining the two of them and everything. It's just a very difficult song. Like, I give kudos to anyone who has to sing that song, and the verses are so quick tempoed and they are so lyrically dense, as is many of the songs in Hamilton. And it's just a very emotional revealing track for the character Angelica. How they do the callback. Like, I love that they go through all of the events again of how they got to this point, which was the wedding of Eliza and Hamilton. And it's viewing it from her perspective. Absolutely love it. It is a wonderful character development song that is absolutely crucial. And it's a show-stopping moment. Like, it is a crucial song to really convey what is happening in Angelica's brain, because it's very important for the rest of the show to know that perspective. It's a brilliantly written song for someone who is not like the main two characters of the musical. I just think it is unlike anything else I have heard. It's one of the songs from the musical that is a no skip for me. I just can't get over how well done it is, how lyrically dense it is, how difficult it would be to sing day after day for whoever is playing it. And it just feels like art. Now, I'm just quickly going to say, I'm not going to go into detail, but my 5 songs that I really wanted to include in the top 10, but obviously it just wasn't possible, were Guns and Ships, Helpless, the opening number, Alexander Hamilton, It's Quiet Uptown, what a tearjerker, and What I'd Miss. That's so hard for me to say. I'll have the names of my honorable mentions right here, especially since I always struggled to say the name of that last one. So there you are. Those are my top 10 songs from the musical Hamilton. Please let me know what you love about this musical. I've loved it for a long time, and I would love to see what others think about Hamilton. Or please let me know what your top songs from this musical are as well in the comments below. I would love to see what songs people are loving. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. It really would mean so, so much to me. And thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it until the very end of the video. And until my next one, bye.